Have you ever wondered what made Japan's most famous shinobi, Hattori Hanzo, a legend? It wasn't just his skills in the shadows. It was his mind. Today, we're diving into the philosophical heart of the shinobi, inspired by Hanzo's legacy. This isn't about weapons or combat, it's a guide to mastering yourself, applicable to everything from your career to your daily challenges. Hattori Hanzo, a legendary samurai and shinobi leader who served Tokugawa Ieyasu, has become a symbol of discipline, intelligence, and quiet strength. The myths surrounding him point to a deeper truth: the shinobi path was about survival through wisdom, not just brute force. Let us explore these principles and see how you can apply them to become a modern shinobi. First, let's talk about the core values of the shinobi way. The first principle is calm before action. How often do we make rushed decisions we later regret? A shinobi understands that a moment of patience can prevent a lifetime of problems. Before you speak, before you act, take a breath. Let the storm of emotion pass. A clear mind makes better choices. The second value is purpose over ego. The mission always comes first. For Hanzo, that mission was protecting his lord. For you, it might be completing a project, supporting your family, or achieving a personal goal. When you focus on the purpose, your ego, the need to be right, to look good, to win, every argument fades away. Your actions become more effective because they're driven by the objective, not by vanity. And the third core value: silence over noise. In a world that's constantly shouting for attention, a shinobi knows that results speak louder than any words ever could. It's not about bragging about what you're going to do, it's about doing it. Let your achievements be your statement. True strength doesn't need to announce itself. A true shinobi seeks balance, a strong mind, a steady body, and a clear, unwavering intent. Now, let's move on to the most critical shinobi skill: awareness, or metsuke. Shinobi train their awareness more than their physical strength. Imagine being able to walk into a room and instantly understand the dynamics, the unspoken intentions, the opportunities. That's metsuke. How can you develop this? Start by observing before acting. When you enter a new situation, whether it's a meeting or a social gathering, take a moment to just watch. See how people interact. Listen more than you speak. You'll be amazed at how much you can learn when you stop filling the silence. The goal is to notice patterns in people's behavior, in events, in systems. This isn't about being suspicious or paranoid, it's about gaining a deeper understanding of the world around you. When you see things clearly, you realize that fewer actions are often needed to achieve your goals. You can navigate life with precision instead of just stumbling through it. Of course, awareness is useless without control. This brings us to the discipline of the mind. Hattori Hanzo was respected not just for his skill, but for his unbreakable self-control. This mental discipline has three key components. The first is patience during uncertainty. Life is full of moments when we don't know what's going to happen next. The undisciplined mind panics. The shinobi mind waits. It knows that clarity will come, and acting without it is a mistake. The second is emotional restraint under pressure. When things go wrong, when people challenge you, the instinct is to react emotionally with anger, fear, or frustration. A shinobi trains to remain calm. This isn't about suppressing emotions, but about not letting them control your actions. A calm mind is incredibly difficult to disturb or manipulate. A scattered, emotional mind is easily defeated. The third component is a focus on long-term outcomes. It's easy to get caught up in short-term wins or losses. But a strategic mind is always looking at the bigger picture. Will this action get me closer to my ultimate goal, or is it just a temporary satisfaction? This long-term focus allows you to make sacrifices in the present for greater success in the future. This strategic thinking leads to our next chapter: strategy without conflict. Sun Tzu wrote that the supreme art of war is to subdue the enemy without fighting. The shinobi lived by this principle. The highest form of strategy is achieving your objective without direct confrontation. How does this apply to modern life? It starts with avoiding unnecessary risks. Not every battle needs to be fought. A shinobi would rather find a secret path than charge the main gate. In your life, this means identifying potential problems and sidestepping them before they become full-blown crises. It's about choosing the right timing. Sometimes, the best action is no action at all. Waiting for the right moment can dramatically increase your chances of success. And most importantly, it's about using intelligence instead of force. Instead of arguing, try understanding the other person's perspective. Instead of forcing your way, try finding a solution that benefits everyone. Clear communication, careful planning, and proactive problem solving are the modern tools of strategy without conflict. But what happens when your plan fails? What happens when the situation changes unexpectedly? This is where adaptability, or henka, comes in. Shinobi were masters of survival because they could adapt to anything. Water survives because it flows around obstacles, it doesn't try to crash through them. Wisdom is the same. The first lesson of adaptability is to be flexible, not rigid. A plan is a guide, not a law. When circumstances change, your plan must change too. The second lesson is to learn from failure quickly. Failure isn't the end, it's data. It shows you what doesn't work. A shinobi doesn't dwell on mistakes. They analyze them, learn from them, and immediately adjust their approach. The faster you can integrate the lessons of failure, the more resilient you become. Clinging to a failing strategy out of pride is a recipe for disaster. Adaptability is the engine of survival and growth. Now, you might think the world of shinobi was a dark one, devoid of morals. But that's a misconception. Historical shinobi operated under strict ethical codes. This brings us to loyalty and ethics. Skill without ethics leads to chaos. Discipline without a moral compass is dangerous. For a shinobi, there were key ethical principles. The first was loyalty to responsibility. This wasn't just blind loyalty to a person, but a deep commitment to one's duty and purpose. It's about being accountable and reliable. The second principle was the protection of the innocent. The goal was to complete the mission with minimal collateral damage. And finally, accountability for one's actions. A true warrior, whether samurai or shinobi, takes responsibility for the consequences of their choices. This ethical foundation is what gives skill its direction and purpose. It separates the disciplined warrior from the common thug. So, how do you become a modern shinobi? You don't need black clothes or a hidden blade. The path of the shinobi today is walked in the open. A modern shinobi thinks before reacting. They take that crucial pause to let reason guide their actions, not impulse. They are continuous learners, always seeking to improve their minds and skills. They act with a quiet confidence that comes from self-mastery, not arrogance. And they respect others and themselves, understanding that true strength is built on a foundation of character. Hattori Hanzo's true legacy isn't about secrecy or fear. It's about the profound power of self-mastery. It's a reminder that the greatest battles are fought within our own minds. The principles of the shinobi are timeless because they are principles of human excellence. Walk quietly, think deeply, act wisely. That is the way of the modern shinobi. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey into the mind of a legend. If these ideas resonated with you, hit that like button and subscribe for more content on philosophy and self-mastery. See you in the next one.